This week, I'm talking about unapologetically standing in your own power as a business owner. So this week's been another really good week. We're making great progress as a company at Mazuma at the moment. We're growing in terms of our sales, the team's expanding, our processes, our procedures, our governance is all improving in a really, really positive way. But there've been a few lessons for me this week, and a couple of things that kind of have risen to the top. First of all, as I mentioned previously, I went to see the Barbie movie. Brilliant. Definitely go and see it. It definitely made me think a lot about unapologetically standing there in my own achievements, in my own power, and just going, yes, I deserve this because I worked really hard for it. So that's been a lesson I've taken into this week, weirdly. Didn't think that seeing the Barbie movie would be life-changing, but there we are. Apparently it has been for me for some reason. But this week I've really learned about the putting forward your authenticity as a business owner. So we've had some great conversations this week. We've been looking at partnerships, we've been looking at growth plans. And within all of those, I think when you're new in business, there's a temptation to kind of, paint the picture of everything's great, everything's rosy, everything's going to plan. And everyone knows that's not true. We all know that running a business is incredibly, incredibly challenging. And we all know that things are going to go wrong. And this week, it's just been a galvanizing moment for me in terms of being really authentic about that. Now, that's not to say that we've ever not been really warts and all. Anybody who knows me, anybody who's followed me for a long time knows that I am very much warts and all. But I'm being really unapologetic about it, and in a really positive way. In a way that says, yeah, we made this decision, this bit went really, really well, this bit didn't go to plan, but we learnt great lessons there, and it means that we're not going to replicate that. Things like that. That's a really broad, kind of vague example. But somebody much more senior than me this week, somebody who I really respect and somebody who has a lot more experience than I do, said to me this week, a little phrase, kind of just off the cuff, but joking, and they said, well, we're all really expensively educated in business. And they didn't mean that everyone's gone to, fancy business schools. They meant that you learn through making sometimes costly mistakes. And that really resonated, that somebody I respected so much and somebody who had so much more experience than I did would say that to me. I just thought was wonderful. And I liked that authenticity. I liked that honesty. And it sort of gave me permission to stand there and really, first of all, authentically celebrate the things we've done brilliantly, because there's so much we've done really well at the moment. But also to go, yeah, we tried this, it wasn't the best result, so we're not going to do that again, or we're going to tinker with it and we're going to change what we do next time. So it's all a learning curve. Like, there's not a single business out there that gets everything right 100% of the time, and there's no reason to pretend that you do. It's all about making sure that you don't replicate mistakes and that you move on to the next stage, taking those lessons with you. The other thing that I'm really pleased with this week in terms of progress is our management reporting structure. So this is something I've been working on for a while now, and it evolves, many years ago when we were running the business, putting in reporting and putting in that kind of structure felt like a massive waste of time. It just felt like we were so busy doing that we didn't have time to go and, all this reporting feels like a waste of time. What a load of nonsense. I've got loads of stuff to be doing. I just need to be getting on with things. I don't want to be spending all my time doing these reports. And as I've grown up in business and as our business has become more sophisticated and as it's become larger, the importance of this reporting structure is really, really clear. And we've now got a really, really nice, robust management reporting structure, which feeds reports into me, which I then summarise, which then we feed out to everybody else. And it means that everyone's got really good visibility. We've got transparency. Everyone knows the direction we're pulling in and who's contributing towards that. Everybody knows what all the other departments do, which I think is really important. As you grow a business and you no longer, there's 5 of you in a room all together and everybody knows what everybody's doing all the time. We're at, I think, we're over 40 people now. There's no way that everybody can know what everyone is doing all the time. And if people work in different departments or are slightly siloed, then they're not going to ever really see what the sales departments do if they're in billing, for example, or if they're in operations. So it gives a really nice visibility on that. and that makes sure that everybody knows everyone else's worth within the business, that everybody understands that value that they bring. So I'm really pleased with how that reporting's going. It's evolving. I'm sure it will evolve as we move on with the journey. I'm sure we'll want to add some things, take some things out. But for now, I've never felt like the team is more connected in terms of delivering what we want to do next. And because we've got some really exciting plans, that makes me feel really confident about our ability to achieve those, because we've got a really good group of people who understand the importance of this and who are going to lead us forward. So that's been the lessons of this week in my usual rambling style, that standing in your own power, being your authentic self, learning from the things you do well and the things that you don't, and then you can manage what you measure, and having those important reporting structures in. Yes, they can feel like a bit of a waste of time if you're earlier on in your journey, but the sooner you get them in, the sooner you're going to make progress, and that's really come to fruition now for us. So that's been big lessons this week in just 5 days. That's been what I've been working on. So tell me about your weeks. Tell me about how you're showing up as your authentic self. Tell me about your reporting structures and any light bulb moments you had in terms of that. And I look forward to talking to you all next week.